Hey everybody, it's Nancy Giuliano at Nancy's Stamping Nook, and it's time I do another video. It's been a while. Hopefully I can get it in before the thunderstorm that's coming. I can already hear the rain going, so we'll see what happens. Today I'm going to show you the way that I created the 4 cards for tomorrow's class. And even though I sometimes give a variety of stamp sets in my card class on Mondays, I'm going to show you this one suite that I just really fell in love with. And it's the Blossoms in Bloom stamp set. And it coordinates in the same suite with the many layered blossoms die. And that has 6 dies in it. It has 2 that layer together and then 4 small flowers. All right, and I'm going to show you the cards that I created with them and how I did it. Now, the first card that I made, got this idea from BJ Peters online. And as you can see, I just used the Blossoms in Bloom stamp set. I didn't use any framelit for that. All right, I used the new Bumblebee paper. I inked up the stamp. It's a big one. Inked it up with the stamp pad on top, flipped it around, pressed down, and then I used Bumblebee ink, and I used Garden Green for the flowers, for the leaves, I'm sorry, and then just basic black to fill in the centers and the tiny flowers. And I even used some little sequins on here. But if you look real close, I don't know if you could see that in the camera, it's textured, which just kind of gave it a really cool look. This is one of our new folders, and it's the Tasteful Texture folder. So I thought that was neat because it's very, very subtle, but it just takes out some of the starkness of from the cardstock. Okay, so that was the first card, and the label was made with our new Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch die, which I'll show you in a little bit. So that's the first card. The second card I made is this Get Well card, and all these sayings come from the Blossoms in Bloom set. You can see they have different sayings on it, which is great. They're very just plain sayings, but so it kind of gives the emphasis on the flowers itself. On this one, I picked up the big stamp set. I used our new Magenta Madness ink, and I offset it on the card. So I went to the side and then pressed down, so it was only partially on the card. And then when I used the framelits, there's the solid and the more detailed, I just used the detailed one, cut it out with a Big Shot in black, and then glued it right on top. And you could also use our new sticky sheets as well, so that you don't have to glue individually on all the little lines. But I did it with the glue. Then, when I was all done and pressed it down, I realized I had smudged the bottom. So I still had leftover, of course that happens to everyone, right? So I had leftover flowers, so I snipped it and just put it on top of that little smudge, and you wouldn't even know it's there. Again, I used the new punch under the Get Well. Love that new magenta color, because sometimes you just need a bright, bright pink. So I really liked it for that. Now the third card I made, I took the framelit die, the one with the more solid. I'll go back to the 2 dies here. So there's one that's a little bit more spread out, more solid, and one has more details. So I took the one that was more solid, cut it out of just a random scrap of cardstock. So now I have my piece here. And you know how sometimes you wonder if these are hard to get out. I have to say that these were, even though they're detailed, they're really easy to pop out of the die. So that was good news when I tried that. So what I did was I put it onto the cardstock, all right, and then I just took a sponge and I hopped up and down with the sponge all over the place, in between, on the outside, and before you know it, I just pulled it off, and that's how you get that image. So really simple card. I use Seaside Spray as my color. And the color of the cardstock is our new Misty Moonlight, which is just a really beautiful blue. So that's how I made that card. And then I just added some pearls just to give it a little bit of a pop because it needed a little bit of something extra. And the last card, I did was this card, and this I got on an idea online. It used a different color, but I went with my favorite Coastal Cabana from someone named Suzanne Netz, I believe her name is. So I cut the more solid piece out, and then I cut the top piece out in the white. And it's really cool how you can mix and match colors, but I thought the white would look kind of cool on the Coastal Cabana. So the white could go on anything. So I cut that out, and then I glued it on top of the flowers. You just match up your top with your bottom, glue them on, and then I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there I put mini dimensionals underneath, so it actually pops a little bit. All right, so it gives a little bit more dimension. And I took off the sticky on the dimensionals, or the covering on the sticky, laid it over the cardstock, and then cut it with the paper trimmer or scissors. You can cut it off on both sides. That left me an extra piece. So the extra piece went on top, again with the mini dimensionals, and then I added a couple of sequins from the Artistry Bloom sequence collection that we have in the new catalog. Again, just pick a random saying. I thought that would be nice for a get well card. All right, so that's how I made that card. And then I'm just going to show you the new punch that I used on many of those. This is a punch that was super popular. They had to put it on back order. It came out of back order for probably a couple hours, and now it's back on back order, but it will be back. It is two different sides here, two different shapes, and basically you can get six different designs at the end of your cardstock, which is really cool. Different sizes that you can use for these. The piece of cardstock would be 1 inch, a 3/4 of an inch, and 1/4 of an inch. But you really can get away with anything in between too if you're careful. So what you do is you take a strip, and then I found it the easiest way, instead of just pushing it through, flipping it over, finding the spot where it's even, and then clip it. And then there you get your design at the end there. And then the same thing, and what you can actually do is, I don't know if that comes out, there we go. See, to determine how long you want that, you could take that piece that came out, put it on the other side, see if you have enough room for the words you want to use, and then you can use a pencil, just mark it, and that's where you're going to cut it. And then you can put that cut piece with that straight edge right into the punch, and you know it's going to, because you measured it with that extra little piece, that your word is going to fit in. And that's it. Those are the 4 cards for tomorrow's class. So I hope you like those. And if you want me to make them, let me know. I can do that. And hopefully we're going to start classes in mid-July. So I would love everyone to come back to class. I miss you all. And that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day. Bye-bye.